this is really interesting and beautiful how they designed it. So I honestly am still trying to figure out how to follow it exactly. I'm assuming it starts here where it says Trail of Tears, right? Because everyone, well, not everyone, but the displacement. There's a lot I don't know, right? I know the Trail of Tears. Well, let me not say I know. I was taught that the Trail of Tears was where Native Americans were pushed out west, right? I don't know what the 5 civilized tribes are. That's right above it. I have no idea. I'll have to look that up. And then above that, the Battle of Honey Springs. I don't know much about it, but I read on one of these things here that it essentially is what got... I don't want to lie. Let me see if I can see it, because I'm pretty sure that's where their freedom came. Before the Emancipation Proclamation in 1865, there was a battle in Texas. Okay, here it is. So, the Union victories at Honey Springs and Cabin Creek in July of 1863 led to the enforcement of the Cherokee Emancipation Proclamation, freeing slaves long before the December 1865 ratification of the 13th Amendment. And this is powerful right here. When freedom finally came, it came not as a gift. We had freed ourselves. And that's unfortunately real. Unfortunately, it sucks that had to be the way freedom came. But also, I think it can give us a strength in knowing how powerful we are, you know? But, yeah, so... And on one of these things, it said that, I don't know what the 5 tribes were, the 5 civilized tribes were, but on one of them it said they were called, so, let me see. We have been here for more than 400 years. We have been called many things. Africans called natives, citizens of the 5 civilized tribes, enslaved. So, it's a name that they were called, but I wonder kind of where it came from. But back to this. So there's the Trail of Tears, the 5 civilized tribes, the Battle of Honey Springs. I can't really see with the sun. And then we're not going to go too far up, because up there is the Tulsa, the massacre of Greenwood. And so I feel like there's more around the bottom before you get up there. This is really beautifully designed. Okay, so here it says subsistence farming. African American emergence. Oh wait, no. Okay, see, that's too high. Because that's see, I don't know. I think if I knew the sequence of events, I would understand how to read this, but I don't. So the run of 1889. Not sure what that is. I'll have to look it up. The cattle run. One of the signs mentioned a cattle run. Okay. And then now we kind of get up, because 1889 is not too far from 1907, which is when I think Oklahoma got statehood. And once that, here it is. Yeah, okay. Statehood is right next to it. I don't know if you can see it. And then we get up there to where those hotels are, because once they got statehood, they thrived. There were numerous black African American communities that were thriving, and that is where you get, those hotels across the top, the Williams Building, the Stratford Hotel. They were thriving businesses. And then you get the Tulsa, quote unquote, race riot. I really hate that name. But also, not so fun fact I learned, that's what, once Greenwood, everything was burned to the ground, right? And it was time to rebuild. Insurance companies didn't pay out to rebuild because they said they didn't cover race riot. They didn't cover riots. They have a no riot clause. And so I wonder if that is why they call it a race riot even to this day. Because I noticed several monuments will say race riot. And sometimes they call it a massacre. But on the official things, they call it a race riot, and it's, you know, how they use law and the legal system to basically push their own agenda, essentially. Anyway, that was a tangent. Okay, and so the race riot is what that newspaper, I can't, newspaper clipping is talking about. The Tulsa Star is what it was called. Okay, and then what? The riot, burning and looting. That's another thing. I don't know. I never learned that they looted those houses, but of course they did, right? Because the black communities were thriving. So of course they took what they wanted, which, wow. Anyway, and Dick Rowland, I recognize the name. Okay, Dick Rowland is the teenager who was accused of assault, and that's what started the whole thing. They accused him of assault, so they were holding him at the courthouse in town, and there was a group of white people. They wanted to lynch him. That was the plan. And so the black people who were veterans of the war, they had gathered together to pretty much protect him, you know, to make sure no harm came to him, because around Oklahoma, I think it said at least 24 African Americans were lynched, but never in Tulsa had there been a lynching. And so they were planning to prevent that from happening. And God, it became so much more than they bargained for. My God. Anyway, so, and I'm guessing that is the courthouse where he was held. Obviously not the courthouse, but you know what I mean. Symbolism. Maybe it is an exact sort of, obviously not to scale replica, I don't know. Call to arms. Where am I? Here. Trying to look at the thing and not at the camera. Okay. So then let's go. Incarceration is up there, but I feel like maybe we go around a little more before we get to that rung of the ladder. This video is already almost 7.5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, see, the call to arms is when, okay, see, I skipped ahead and told what I knew without going in order, because, okay, now it all makes sense. So like I said, Dick Rowland, the courthouse, right? And once that happened, call to arms, everybody gathered to protect him, prevent a lynching from happening. That's what I'm thinking is going on here, because, why did I say that? I saw something here that made me think that. Confrontation. Yeah. Which is the whole thing. And then destruction. I don't know if you can see, because I can barely see with the sun's glare. I don't know. Hopefully the camera's capturing it. Oh gosh. Burning. Oh, sun is killing me. Looks like a burning building. I can't fully tell. Okay, yeah. See, that's what happened. So the burning and looting. Oh gosh, the camera's way off. The burning and looting sign is up a higher level. Okay, I thought. Okay. And then these buildings are in flames. I don't know if the camera's capturing it. I can't see. Where am I? They're around here. I should just point with my fingers. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, if you can't see them, there's buildings on fire. Okay. My arm is kind of getting tired too. So, okay. And then, oh, that says incarceration. They follow this playbook every time. My arm is really tired. Switch arms. Okay. So the incarceration is right above. I can't see. Gosh. Okay. Okay, and now up here it says reconciliation, which, truth be told, no real reconciliation, I think, has truly happened. Like, yeah, Tulsa has put up these monuments, but as of 2018, they weren't teaching about the massacre in schools. And I know that because a guy who graduated from high school in 2018 never learned it. So they have all these things, but there are still 2 remaining survivors of that massacre, and there have been no reparations made to anyone. So it's like, on one hand, they're quote unquote acknowledging it, but at the same time, they're not doing anything to really reconcile it. You know, they're paying lip service to it. Anyway, I'm on my soapbox. Let me get back to this. It just irritates me. Okay. Reconciliation. Look at that. Oh, God. Where is it? Can you see it here? Where the man has his hand on. I can't see. I can't see. This side. Okay, well. Okay. And now it looks like the lifting as we climb theme is here. Because you have people at the top. Oh, the sun is killing me, y'all. People at the top celebrating. Oh, I can't see. I can't look up. And pulling each other up. I hope you can see it because I can't. And it's beautiful, that lifting each other up. I think a good part of it is, I'm not even going to comment on that. But, yeah, the black community as a whole, it's ingrained in us to lift each other up and support each other. And I don't know if it's a direct result of all the shared trauma that we have seen, experienced, and known, and the acknowledgement that like no one had us but us, that has led us to have that. But for whatever the reason is, the whole concept of lifting as we climb, which is here in the end, lifting as we climb is very much ingrained. And B.C. Franklin is, if I remember correctly, one of the lawyers who fought in court because, okay, yeah, it's on this sign right here. So after the massacre, it said, when the city fathers tried to use the fire ordinances to keep us from rebuilding, lawyers B.C. Franklin, P.A. Chappelle, and I.H. Spears beat them in court, and brick by brick, block by block, Greenwood rose again. And, oh gosh, it's another area. But there's one building that they preserved where it was made from burned brick because the insurance refused to pay out. So the Greenwood residents had to rebuild from nothing, from burned brick. And I have a picture of it. Anyway, it's a lot. But this is beautiful, and it sounds wonderful. I see. Okay. Hostility. I don't know if y'all remember, we saw hope on the other side. Let's go around it again. Humility. Oh, God. Oh, Lord have mercy. This is what happened when you just be talking. I saw humil and say humility. It's humiliation. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. That actually makes a lot more sense than humility. Because what? And then hope. Oh, gosh. This is beautiful. It sucks that something like this has happened. I absolutely despise it. But this acknowledgement and recognition, and this, by the way, this is called John Hope Franklin Reconciliation Park. Dr. John Hope Franklin is a black man. So, because here's the thing. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But pioneering historian, world-renowned scholar, and brilliant son of Tulsa, whose family survived the infamous race riot in 1921. Dr. John Hope Franklin, who forever changed the way that Americans think of themselves and their past. In honor of his courage, honesty, tenacity, and indomitable spirit, this reconciliation park is dedicated. Yeah. So, another really amazing thing to note is that Tulsa, so Booker T. Washington High School started as like one small building, and that was the school for, I don't want to misquote anything, it was in Tulsa, right? It was the black school. And what they had done, oh man, it's so beautiful if you really think about it. But essentially, so many African American people who changed the course of history, who have so many firsts of everything, right? Tuskegee Airmen, like first, I believe, black women in the waves. Like oh my gosh, there's a whole monument showing how the great things those students went on to do. But essentially, it was all about instilling confidence, self-worth, self-esteem. And I say that because there's a quote that's on every single one of the, I guess, monuments. And it's in the top corner. And I'm pretty sure it was said by their principal. I could be wrong. I think it was the principal. And it's, you are as good as 90% of the people and better than the other 10%. And that sort of mentality, I think, fosters a sense of confidence and self-esteem that lets you know you can do anything you set your mind to. And it gives you the, the strength, the wherewithal to really approach things from a perspective of, I can change this, right? Because if you don't believe you're capable and worthy of doing such a thing, it's never going to happen. But to have that confidence of like, no, I belong here. Even when someone is telling you can't do something because you're black, to keep pushing forward until you do that thing that you want to do, it's powerful. It's very powerful. So, yeah, I'm going to end this video at almost 17 minutes.